guys, it's your girl Cheyenne from Plant My Happy Space. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna do the Never Have I Ever Planty Challenge Tag created by Javaness here on YouTube. Her channel is called aGirlwithaGarden, I believe. And nobody tagged me in this per usual, just like all the other tags I've done. I still wanted to do it because I thought it was funny. And here we are. This glass was full and I was just drinking it as I was setting up the camera and everything, so already had a little bit. But we're still going to answer all the questions, and I will drink every time I have done something. Here we go. The first one is, never have I ever killed a cactus. And I have not, because I have never owned cactus before this month. Spoiler alert, if you usually watch my end of month plant hauls at the end of April, you will see that I actually got my first couple of cactus. But before this point, I have never had a cactus, so never had a chance to kill one. The second one is, never have I ever taken a plant cutting from a nursery that was on the ground. And I have not. There was one nursery that I did go to back when I lived in Illinois, and it was like right when I had first gotten into plants, and I really wanted a spider plant for some reason. That was like the thing I really wanted. And I went to this nursery, and they had these giant ones that had a bunch of babies on them. And I went to the front desk and I asked, I said, hey, do you guys sell cuttings? And the woman looked at me and was like, what do you mean, do we sell cuttings? I was like, I mean, can I like snip snip and then give you money? And she just handed me scissors and was like, just take what you want, with like this really confused face. So I took literally one spider plant baby and took that home. But no, I've never taken any off the ground or anything like that. Number 3 is, have I ever spent more than $100 on one plant? And yes, I have. Oh my goodness. If you watched my juicy plant tuber tag that I did a couple of videos ago, I have bought so many plants that were over $100. Like, it's almost ridiculous at this point. Like, I have no spending limit to what I will and won't get if I really want a plant. Yes, I have definitely, like, let me just take a twofer for that one, because yeah, I have definitely done that. Number 4 is, never have I ever bought a plant just because it was trending on Instagram. And I have never done that. Well, this one specifically mentions Instagram, and I actually had stopped using my personal Instagram for a while, and didn't start using Instagram again really until I made my YouTube channel. Just because it's a really good platform for like my followers to kind of DM me and communicate with me in a way that's not as a comment on the video. So I've never done that. Yeah. No. Number 5 is, never have I ever met another plant tuber. And no, I haven't. There's a couple that I've messaged on Instagram and everything, but I've never met any of them. So if y'all want to hang out, do a meetup, let me know. Number 6 is, never have I ever neglected a plant and let it die a slow death. And yes, I have. Again, if you watched the juicy plant tuber tag that I did, I have definitely done this. I've never done it to rare or uncommon plants, so I don't feel as guilty, but I have definitely done this to a couple of plants. Either they just weren't my cup of tea anymore, or they had some kind of bug that I either didn't know how to treat or didn't want to deal with. Number 7 was, have I ever purchased a plant and then regretted buying it later? I've never regretted buying that specific plant. I have regretted purchasing it from certain sellers. I'm not going to name names or anything, but there's plenty of companies that I've purchased from before starting my YouTube and doing unboxing videos and everything, that I got very, very irritated about with how bad these plants showed up. Number 8 is, never have I ever bargained with a plant seller. And I have definitely never done that. The only thing that's probably come close to bargaining is in my last video, the Loxa plant sellers video, I mentioned that I had chosen 5, and they said, hey, if you buy 2 more, we'll throw in an 8th one for free. And I was like, I'm not gonna buy 2 more if they're this expensive. And she was like, no, I'll give you the 2 extra for $50 each. So I was like, okay. I wouldn't necessarily call that bargaining, but I'm like, I was already spending a lot of money. I definitely wasn't gonna buy 2 more expensive ass plants just to get 1 for free that I hadn't like picked out personally. So that's probably the closest I've come to bargaining. Number 9 is, have I ever killed a rare plant? And have I? No, I haven't, but I am so afraid that I'm gonna kill my El Chaco red. I'm terrified of it. That's probably the only one that I'm unsure of at this point, but so far, no. But number 10 is, never have I ever traveled over an hour to visit a plant nursery. And I never have, but I am more than willing to. I just can't find any that are even over an hour's drive from me. Like, I think the closest one that I can find without, having inside information is over a 5-hour drive away. And that's a little bit too far for me. But if I was able to find one that was like 1, 2, maybe even 3 hours away, you better believe I'd be there. Better believe it. Number 11 is, never have I ever bought a plant that was so big that it almost didn't fit in my car. And no, I never have, honestly. All of my bigger plants I've actually ordered online. I think the only ones that I've really purchased in person have all been like 4-inch pots and smaller. So no, I've never done that. Man, I feel like I need to drink just for the simple fact that I haven't done a lot of these, so I haven't drank that much. Number 12 is, never have I ever showered with my plants. And I'm assuming this question means that, like, physically had them in the shower with me, which no, I have never done that, mainly because there's not really a lot of room to do that. But I have taken my bigger plants that I know don't need like special water into the shower to water them. Like, I have a very large 12-inch golden pothos that is just so big, and it doesn't need any special filtered or distilled water or anything. It's very non-finicky, so I take that bad boy in the shower and just drench it. But I've never showered with my plants. I don't have the room for that. Number 13 is, never have I ever gone on a no plant buy and it been successful. And wait, I'm supposed to drink if I have. So no, I actually shouldn't have drank to that, because I've never gone on a no plant buy and it been successful. Like, again, what I've mentioned in the Juicy Plant Tuber video, there was a point where we were living in a hotel and my then fiance, now husband, asked me to not buy any more plants until we moved into our house. And as far as he knows, I didn't buy any more plants. The trick is, he doesn't really know how many I had to begin with. So if I just got small ones or ones that look similar, he was never able to notice. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not actually, no, that is really what happened, but I told him about it. More as a joke, because I'd be like, you realize I've still been buying plants and you just never noticed, right? And he was like, doesn't surprise me. Like, he knows I have no self-control. Number 14 is, never have I ever gotten a plant for free. And I'm going to drink to this because technically I have gotten a plant for free. It was never sent to me like by a company to review on their own or anything like that. There's only been 2 times I've gotten a free plant. One of them was from an Etsy seller that she just massively dropped the ball on my purchase. was very late sending it to me, and then when she did, she sent it to me, it had root rot. Contacted her, she was willing to send me another one, but then took forever on that too. So it had been months and months and months trying to get this plant. So finally, by the time she did send me a healthy plant, she was like, hey, I threw in, you know, this extra plant cutting, blah, blah, blah. That, and then in the last video with the Loxa plant sellers, when they told me if I bought 7 plants, they send me 1 for free. Not to be like disrespectful, but I don't consider either one of those a free plant, because with the Etsy seller, she was basically not giving it to me for free. That was her way of accommodating the trouble that I had gone through. So I essentially paid for that plant with the trouble that I had gone through. And then with the Loxa plant seller, like, yeah, I spent over $700 on plants. I don't consider it free that you threw in 1 plant. At the end of the day, they were free, and I was appreciative. But obviously, I would have preferred to just got my good quality plant in a timely manner, or to have spent less on those plants from Loxa plant seller. But somebody's always showing up at my house unannounced when I need to do these videos. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So, like I was saying, yes, I have technically gotten free plant mail, but it wasn't like a package of free plants, you know, that somebody gave me to review or anything like that. It was, you know, additions to current purchases. Number 15 is, have I ever gotten a plant for someone else as a gift and then kept it for myself? No, because I've never bought a plant for anybody. Nobody I know in real life really appreciates, you know, house plants. I have considered doing this thing with my coworkers where I go and I get them inexpensive plants that I think that they could care for, and, you know, leave that on their doorstep, you know, trying to be nice, you know, just to brighten up their day a little bit when everybody's in self-quarantine. Number 16 is, never have I ever sold a plant online. And no, I never have. I will be in the future, not on a mass scale or anything, but I have started propagating some of my more rare and uncommon plants, so that I can either sell on probably just like Facebook or use for giveaways for you guys in the future. Number 17 is, never have I ever deleted mean or inappropriate comments on YouTube. And I've never deleted any comments off of my YouTube. As of right now, I'm not large enough, I don't think. There's always going to be a certain percentage of, you know, so many % people that watch your channel are going to be negative or whatever, from what I can see on, you know, bigger pages. And I'm just not large enough there yet. So far, everybody that's, you know, commented on here or messages me on my Instagram, they've all been very positive. And, you know, I greatly appreciate it. And in the future, I probably wouldn't delete mean comments. But I also can't say that for a fact because I haven't been in that position yet. 18 is, never have I ever bought a plant with the intent to propagate it for cuttings for sale. And I have never done that. I have, however, done one of two things. I have either purchased a plant, like for instance, I'll give an example. I had a very, very large philodendron gloriosum, and it took up a lot of space. And I also know it's one that may not be rare, but it is on the more expensive side. I think most of the time I see it, it's probably over $80, and it can be hard to get your hands on sometimes. So what I thought about, with how my collection grows, I've started getting smaller plants to make room so that I can have more. So what I did was I purchased a smaller gloriosum for myself, and now I'm propagating my larger one so that I can give away to you guys. I've done either that, or I have purchased a plant for myself, and then if it was a large enough plant, or maybe it was kind of dying, so I decided to try to save it and cut up the nodes, I will keep one of those nodes, one or two, or however many I have, a couple amount. So if I have like 6 nodes, I might keep 1 or 2 and propagate those for somebody else, and then create a plant with the other ones for myself. I've never purchased any plant with the intent to propagate it specifically and not to love it, but those are the 2 ways that I inevitably end up propagating a plant that I have. Number 19 is never have I ever gone on a big box store run and not gone into the garden center. And the only times I've gone and not gone in the garden center is if myself and my husband go to like Lowe's or Home Depot. It's usually Lowe's, and we're there for a home improvement reason. I try not to go into the garden center because he already knows that I have no self-control when it comes to plants. But the look he gives me when I try to like, oh yeah, babe, you go look for screws, I'm gonna go in the plant section, it kind of makes me feel like he thinks I don't know how to prioritize. So if we're going for a home improvement reason, I try not to go into the garden center so that he knows that I'm focused on the task at hand. I still occasionally do, but those are the only times that I don't, is if I'm with him and I'm trying to make that point. I guess I'm supposed to drink to that. It's a good thing we're on the last question because I am almost out. Number 20 is never have I ever met one of my followers in person. And no, I haven't. I don't even know if any of my followers live near me. I've never done a meet and greet. But just so you guys know, I live in the Panhandle area of Florida. So that area, Florida, Alabama, Georgia. And I've got no problem putting miles on my vehicle. So if you are in this area and you want to go plant shopping with me, or you know of a nursery in this area, you want to meet and greet, you let me know and we will try to make something happen. That was it for me. I hope you guys liked the video. It was more of a casual one today. Don't worry, I've got some other cool stuff coming up in the future, so stick around. If you're not already, please subscribe and follow me on Instagram. I'd really appreciate it. And for now, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out. It's always the strongest at the bottom.